All right, 2, 3, 1, let's go. Good morning, good evening, and welcome to the campus for this brand new webinar and session and
Good
talking
morning
today
over
about
there in
driving
France. I hope
traffic
all is
and the
well.
word of
You're
mouth.
coming
Good
into winter,
evening,
we're coming
Ali.
into
How are
summer.
you?
Welcome to everyone who's come along today to our webinar. You can get these webinars after on the campus, but we do them free live. So if you're here live, then you get to see them free. So lucky you.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about driving traffic in the first part, and in the second part, the famous concept of word of mouth. Yes, everyone is, this is a dream, driving traffic to the website, to the fan page, to an event, and traffic that could be online or offline, and driving people to what you're organizing or something like that. This is the main concept everyone is focusing on, with a lot of literature about, and but what is the reality? We're going to try today with Ali to make a small summarize about how we can drive traffic normally with the right concept. What we're going to talk about, and we start to talk about driving traffic online to the fan page, to the website, and everyone, as I said before, is expecting driving a lot of traffic, and to measure the traffic is driving to a website or a Facebook page or a Google profile or Twitter followers or something like that. What is the main the main thing to drive traffic, Ali? And what is your
Okay, so
experience about
the first thing to remember, I guess, about
driving
social
traffic,
media,
sorry,
just to
to your
recap,
website and to
is
your
that as part of
fan
a
page on
marketing
Facebook?
strategy, is not a marketing strategy in itself. So it has to be the way in which you use your social media with your other forms of advertising. And this is the same within the internet
Sure.
world as how you actually work your social media with your website. You know, your website's your main point of contact. It's where people who are seriously going to engage in business with you are going to ring you and email you from. And so the social media is kind of a gathering, a way that you can gather the people and drive them to your website. So I guess one of the first things really is integration between the website and the social media. So it's actually integrating your social media really well into your website. I see a lot of clients that come to me that actually don't have their social media. They're struggling with social media. They have a beautiful website, but somehow their website developer hasn't got social media either, and so he doesn't have an embedded stream of their Facebook or an embedded stream of their Twitter, and therefore there's not that correlation going on between, and they don't have a like button on there so that people can hit the like button and spread the word of the website to the social media. So social media integration with your website and social media integration with other social media. So that would be that'd be the big overall picture of driving traffic, is having the integration.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's right. And I noticed for some few months that there's some misunderstanding or some misconfusion. And one of the main thing in this strategy, and you precise again, and that's right, Ali, that this is not a strategy by itself, but a global strategy. That in this strategy, in your marketing strategy, your website, the website is really the art of first the strategy and where you have to drive traffic. You have to concentrate everything you can do, and as Ali explained, keeping people on social media and social media and social media or social network to your website. That's the most important thing, because social media is your own, and really people has to come there to your website to see exactly what is your actuality, what is the latest news, what you can develop, what is your offer, and what you're doing. And especially for artists, because one of the the main part of those seminars are to focus on the singer, songwriter, artists, and how can they develop their strategy and implement the right strategy. So you have to drive there and then redirect to your website. This is one of the most important. For example, if you're organizing an event outside, and it will be the link with the online and offline. If you're organizing an event, a bricks and mortar event, for sure they will see all the information, can get and catch all the information on your website. Could be on social media too, but the selling tickets, for example, could be there on your website and in bricks and mortar on the ticketing and the cashier or something at the door or something like that. But the main thing is, don't forget that this is the first main topic of this webinar: drive traffic to your website. Whatever you're driving traffic to your fan page, that from your fan page, from your profile, whatever the social network or media, to your site. That's really important. What could be then the link between the online and offline traffic? Because we call it traffic online, and we call it attendees or whatever in the real situation, in bricks and mortar situation. So what is the link? And you have experience with Taste Tasman a few years ago with all
Yeah,
the gigs
I think, well, it's
you're
really
involved in
important,
concert
again,
and
that keeping
festival.
in mind
What
that your
is
Facebook, that your social
the
media is
right
part
the
of your
right way
overall
to go?
strategy. So this is something that I often see with businesses and artists that I work with, and they just haven't got it all integrated. So I say to them, okay, have you got your Facebook on your printed matter? Is your Facebook on your business card? Is your Facebook on your poster? And the first thing with that is actually getting a username. And a lot of people don't understand just to get a username. And that's pretty simple. If you're on Facebook and you've built your page, just go to facebook.com/username. It's the easiest way to do it. And it will give you a chance to name either your profile with a username or your page with a username. And that's, then you've got something to print. Usually something short, no gaps, like mine's Ali Cook Music or Ali Cook Marketing, all one word all together, facebook.com/Ali Cook Marketing. So it's real simple. You can pick it up, you can print it on printed matter. You can even get into QR codes where the QR code takes you to the website, etc. And put the QR code on your poster and on your printed material, on your leaflets and what have you, so people can scan that with their iPhones if they have QR codes. And just generally putting your website onto everything that's in the offline world, and by the same means everything on the online world as well. So having your website in your description. So who am I at Ali Cook Music? Oh, my official website is www.alicook.com, so making sure that description is clearly there, occasionally posting it, and then having your social media integrated. And I think, probably we've just not quite recently done a rebuild on alicook.com, and Phil has everything integrated there. Even when you go to my video link, you're actually putting the tally up on my YouTubes, because it's actually my YouTubes that are actually in my video link on my website. So you're actually, you're increasing your YouTube likes. Of course, YouTube is connected to Google, and that therefore helps to boost the SEO, search engine optimization rankings. And so having that social media properly integrated, having a like button that people can click and it brings up your website, and if they're logged on to Facebook, so that they can post your website when they've found you. All of that's really important. Your contact page really clear, so it's really easy for someone to just contact you. So making all the lines for people to get to you, to get from your social media to your website, having all of those lines really smooth and really easy. I think that's one of the key things.
Yeah, that's right. And you're talking about the QR code, and I just passed on the chat room. QR code stands for Quick Response Code. This is something like that, and that's absolutely important. You can have it on your business card, whatever the format. And this is a great marketing tool because you can integrate your logo. I don't know if you can see it properly. Yes. This is important and fundamental to implement some QR codes on the website, visible on the tablet, visible on an iPhone, and as you precised it, because more and more people, and most are likely flashing QR codes, and more are mobile, and your audience is mobile right now. So you need to have some responsive tool. What is responsive? Responsive is a design layout which is accessible from a mobile unit, a mobile device. Whatever this is a tablet, whatever this is an Android phone, an iOS phone, whatever. But everything must be simple for the user. Remember one main topic and keep it in mind. If they can't land on the page immediately and be in the one-click concept, your visitors will leave your website and will not whatever. And more on the mobile device. If it can't load immediately, they will totally forget about your site, and then you will not drive traffic. So every simple tool you can have on the website as QR codes or something like that could be extremely useful to drive traffic. Remember, and this is again one link between the online and offline. 4 years ago, when Harrods in London used to publish big giant QR codes on the as advertisements to promote their whatever product, and people can scan with their smartphone directly from the car. They just scan the giant QR code, and they get on their smartphone the direction, the Google map, and what was the product about. This is extremely important. That drives traffic to the online shop and directly to the bricks and mortar shop. This is extremely important. Another way to drive traffic to your website, to your event, to your page, to your social media, and then concentrate, as we clarified before. This is a famous concept of word of mouth. A very, very old concept, extremely hard to generate 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now this is a little bit different. This is a little bit different because we have a great help again of social media, and generating the word of mouth now is fantastic. Is fantastic and a fantastic tool. What is according to your experience, Ali, the best
Well, really,
example you
that's
can give
interesting because word of
to the
mouth is one of
attendees
the
today
oldest sort
about
of
a
forms of
word of
advertising, isn't it?
mouth,
I mean, it's just of
not
marketing. Word of
strategy but
mouth is what it's
tactic,
all
and
about.
how it
And
has
I
been
guess the
generated.
first thing about word of mouth is give us good service, and people are gonna, talk about the good service, but they'll be more quickly if you give a bad service to instantly have a whole lot of people talking about it. And social media is really like one gigantic word of mouth. And so all of a sudden, you can just have this gigantic word of mouth where you can spread one thing to another. And so it's how to utilize this new gigantic form of word of mouth. Now with Facebook, and that's you have to think about it that way. It's quite interesting. A lot of people with Facebook don't really understand what it is. I've heard a lot of complaints lately of people. I saw one the other day that was absolutely perfect. Someone was complaining because there was a sponsored ad in the timeline, and he said, "What is this crap on my timeline?" you know, and I just wrote underneath it, "It's actually Facebook's timeline and you're on it." like, and in case you were wondering, Facebook is actually a big advertising gathering service that happens to have a side thing of fun. Now it's something that used to get talked about with radio a lot. That people said, "Oh, songs are just something to play between the adverts." And Facebook
Sure.
is exactly the same. It's another medium like radio, but talking to each other's friends and reconnecting with old friends and getting new colleagues and stuff like that, and whatever you're doing, or people of a similar interest, is the thing to do between the adverts. It's actually there not only to sell adverts to you as a person who might need to buy advertising, but it's also there collecting all your information. And it's amazing the amount of people that I come across that don't realize that that's why every time when they log on, it said, where did you go to school? You haven't told us yet where you went to school. You haven't told us yet where you live. Please tell us where you live. You know, it's not because they want to know where you want to live to connect you with people who like you or old friends. It's actually because they need that information for advertisers so that people can go, I need to link to those people. So that's, that's really what Facebook's role actually is. So this giant word of mouth, we have this giant word of mouth. You can advertise within that word of mouth to push it out further, or you can get groups of chatter going, which is what a post is. A post is just a group of people chattering about something. It's word of mouth. And so the more people that chatter and like on it, the more it goes out for people to see that people are chattering and liking about it. So actually, even though it's a machine doing that on Facebook, it's going, oh, this is a busy post. So we'll put this into more people's feeds because it's a topic which is keeping people interesting. It's a topic which is keeping the people who we want to advertise to interested in Facebook and entertained. Because the idea is to entertain you, just like songs are something to play between the adverts. Songs keep you entertained so that every second song they can shove 10, 30-second commercials at you. And this is the same. The conversation, the topics of conversation, the word of mouth that's going on and spreading, and these conversations are becoming bigger on people's timelines. It's all just to keep you entertained because they really are going to throw a sponsored ad in between there when you're looking on your timeline for the busy, interesting conversations and the topics of the world and what are happening. Really getting, as an advertiser and as a person wanting to use Facebook on a marketing perspective, it's getting your head around that is actually what it is. It's not there for you to have fun on. It's not there for Joe Brown to say he just got out of the shower and he's about to walk his dog. It's actually there to gather millions of people's information so that when somebody like me comes along and goes, I'm going to play a gig in Sydney, so I need to advertise my gig to all the people in Sydney who are aged between 35 and 65 who are interested in country music. You've put your interests in there, you've put where you live, you've put how old, and so that advert knows to grab your timeline and slap my advert in it. And so people need to get that concept of what it's about. And then it's really easy to understand, I think, once you actually understand what it is, a giant, giant word of mouth. And that's really what, that's really what social media is. Same with Twitter. It's another giant word of mouth. Little conversations going off that people are sharing that conversation. So it's about putting good and interesting things there that people will talk about, not boring them, keeping them entertained.
Yeah, that's a very famous and fantastic notion of this word of mouth, and granddads used to use it in their companies 50 or more years ago, and that was extremely hard to generate. But as you clarified it, this is easier now with social media and the online concept because. Uh, 50 years ago, we said, I know the guy who know the guy who know the guy who knows the guy, etc., etc., etc. And that was extremely expensive to generate the word of mouth, and the time was one of the main factor about uh, disseminating and propagating the information of, oh, I know this singer. Did you listen to their music already or not? No, and it took time to generate that. Now, as you clarified it with a Facebook advert or simply posting and reposting and reposting in social media or social network. The word of mouth is a pretty, if we do it properly, a self-generation and self-generated to your network and your network's network, and that's extremely important. And this is one of the main elements to drive traffic, generating the word of mouth and subcontracting in a way the fact that people hearing from you, from your product, your services, your music, your events, will talk about you and those to the other people, and then drive traffic to wherever you want. They drive traffic. The main thing is uh, to generate this word of mouth extremely clearly and properly, and not to create any misconfusion or misunderstanding in our minds. And then, first of all, that's why it's absolutely necessary to be precise in what you have to offer, whatever this is, a service, a gig, an event, or that everything must be crystal clear for the information to be disseminated through your network via the famous word of mouth. Because there's a distortion between the first and the 10th people disseminated the information. And then we have many examples where for example, an event must be held this year, and in fact, no, this is not this year, or there's a delay between that they retranscribe with the date and time or something like that, or for example, Hari will be in Sydney November 10, and at the end of the chain, this is November 11, or between 10 and 11, and that's why everything must be extremely precise and extremely clarified at the very beginning to get rid of any misunderstanding and misconfusion. Keep in mind that there's a distortion between the initial story and what people are propagating, and longer is the chain, higher is the distortion at the end, so you can miss something. And that extremely important. Keep that in mind. Generating word of mouth must start with a very precise and clear information. That's right. So we have many tools now about how to drive traffic. Now imagine, and let's start with this hypothesis that we have driven traffic on the website with QR codes, with social media, with responsive design on the website, generating a bit of word of mouth. That's clear. All right. Two main questions: how to monitor the traffic driven and the sources and the referrals. And the second question we will try to answer is how to be sure in a way that we will continue to drive this traffic, and what could be the action to lasting relationship with your audience to continue coming to your website. Have you I know you have
Yeah, I think just
some kind
regularly,
of experience
I
to
don't post my website
maintain
a lot,
this,
but I have my
because this is a
website
real
on everything.
maintenance of
So
your audience
people,
to
and funny enough,
continue
I do just
visiting
about daily
from
get
social
contact
media, from
emails from
whatever,
various
to
people.
your website.
Most of the leads that come to me for gigs, for people wanting to buy an album, for all sorts of things, come through my website. So they do actually end up on my website contacting me through the contact page. That does actually work. So just making sure that your website is on everything. It was funny, I was thinking about John, you were saying there about word of mouth, and you're saying about making the message very clear. Well, that made me think about Chinese whispers, how if you don't make the message very clear, then it can get distorted as it goes out, you know. So keeping that message clear so that people understand. It was quite funny just posting now. I was just posting, come to a live webcast, and somebody actually shared the link and said, here's Ali Cook, the singer, here's one of her videos. Like they'd actually thought it's a link to a video, but they hadn't actually read it. Even though I'd made it quite clear, they hadn't actually read it to see that it was a live webcast. So, you know, even sometimes on social media, and Philippe, you know, as a website developer, you can make it so simple, stupid, and people will still not get it. Like, there's a lot of people that the technology is still difficult for them, and if it's not an obvious thing, they're not, like, just not going to get it, and not going to work out how to get through. So I guess keeping the websites navigationally easy for people. So keeping the
Yeah.
websites so that they're navigationally easy is kind of quite a good thing for making sure that when you drive the traffic there, that they are going to find what they want. They're going to find your contact page. They're going to clearly see your videos are there. They're going to clearly see, and no matter what, no matter where they go in social media, it's going to lead back to your website. So it's driving traffic, yeah, driving traffic back to an easily navigatable website. So I think, yeah, that's, you know, treating it like, it's funny. I think that thinking about that, and that's what I've learned from you with your marketing experience, is to treat everything online like the old-fashioned marketing, you know, before we had the internet. And I guess for those of us that are of this age, we remember marketing before there was actually an internet. So it's actually putting into practice what you did in the real world with real marketing. Not that social media is not real marketing, but um, with marketing offline and apply it online. And the thing is really that I think when you apply it online, that's when you see the gigantic bonus of of using social media. I mean, social media advertising,
Oh,
I can't imagine why anybody in a business would not want to
yeah.
use social media advertising. I mean, a radio station, you have to hope that your customer's sitting in the car driving, listening to the radio station, and that he's not one of those people that turns down the adverts when they come on, you know? And people have such choice now in their media. Before, it was absolutely essential to be on radio, but I don't know how essential it actually is to be on radio anymore, because a lot of people don't listen to radio because the adverts drive them mad, but they're not addicted to radio like they are to Facebook. So even though they've got adverts in their timeline, they still won't leave Facebook because they're much more addicted to Facebook than they ever were their radios, you know, whereas they've learnt to go, I don't want to listen to 30-second ads. I'm just going to put in my CD, or I'm going to put in my MP3 player, and I'm going to listen to my music with no
Yeah.
ads. But they're not going to turn around and go like the guy that said, what is this crap on my timeline? And I went, well, actually, it's not your timeline. It's actually Facebook's timeline, and you're on it. Well, he's not going to leave Facebook just because there's ads showing in his timeline. So it's much more of a consumer, the entertainment side of Facebook is much more of a consumer trap, really, than radio or television is, or, you know. So the Facebook advertising that you can then basically advertise to these people that are actually addicted to this form of entertainment because they're getting all this communication, because people love communication with human beings, and that's why we love Facebook, because we're actually talking to real human beings all over the world, and we're actually really loving it because it's in our nature to love it. It's not someone feeding something at us, it's actually a communication, it's a two-way street. And so once you get those people to like your page, it is about being a two-way street. I try never to leave a comment unthanked or unresponded to. I think it's really important to really, and pages are easier than profiles because you tend to see, harder than profiles, because with a profile, you tend to see where the person has responded to you. It shows up there as a notification, such and such has just commented on your post. Whereas you've got to go into your page and actually pay attention and look at the posts and look at the, see what's been said. And so it's really important to go to your pages and pay attention to what's being said, what's being commented on, and make sure that you comment on it. Because again, that is that word of mouth machine with Facebook that actually reads how many likes and how many comments there is on. And the other thing, another we've been working with, and I saw it happen today actually, on a friend's page. who made a comment a few weeks ago about something personal in her life, and it was right down her page, and I went right down her page and I made a comment on that thing. And then all of a sudden I saw that 2 or 3 other people had made comments on something she posted last week. And then when I went out of that profile and into another profile that had her on, it was like, hello, that comment that she made um, a week, over 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, it was actually a month ago, I think, was right at the top of my timeline feed. So,
Yeah.
and this is the same, so it's older, so commenting on older posts pulls them up to the top of the feed. So if they've been a post, say you've had a post that a lot of people commented on that post, if you get someone to go comment on that post, it's gonna go, someone commented on the post, then it's gonna go, whoa, it's got 30 comments, and it's gonna whack it back up the top of the feed again. So I'm starting to recognize that rule that we've been playing with this, Phil and I, with photos, going back through and clicking likes on each other's photos, brings those photos back up to the top of the feed. You'll notice if somebody clicks a photo that was actually uploaded to Facebook some months ago, when one person comments on it, all of a sudden you'll see a flood of comments, and that's just basically because it's whacked it back up into everyone's news feeds. It's doing the same thing with comments, even if they're like a month old or something. So quite interesting to note that. And so it's knowing what the machine does, and then it's working the machine. Similar, working the Facebook machine is similar to working the search engine optimization machine, but just a different way. So it's actually seeing how it responds. What things can you do to make something whack up the top of a feed? It's exactly the same as what things you can do on your website and what keywords you can do to make the Google spider come in and go, oh, popular, 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 boom, up the top of the search. And the same thing's happening with the little Facebook, the little Zuckerberger robot goes in there and it goes, oh, what post? Oh, popular, popular post. Stick it up the top of the news feed. So amazing how that is actually happening. So that is something to really take note of and to actually go do. Go get another profile and go way down a comment and try it, and put a comment on something you've not commented on, and then all of a sudden you'll see that 2 or 3 people will comment on that, even though it's halfway down that person's wall. It's like, but because a new comment's happened and the machine counts all the old comments and it counts your new comment, it puts it up the top. That to me is evidence that it counts the old comments, because it will always happen on a popular post that's gone down a timeline that someone comments on.
You said the word timeline, in fact, and I think and remember 15 months ago when Facebook introduced the timeline, everyone was claiming around this is fake, a big change, nothing to see. And in fact, the timeline is really efficient, and actually in the trend and the old trend in the past of the what people are looking, because we all love a timeline saying what happened a few weeks ago, what happened in blah blah, and then recatching some old story in the timeline and reposting and recommenting or something like that, as you said and you mentioned, where put up on the newsfeed the post and the comments, and there will be a very big source and genuine source of to drive traffic to wherever you want to drive this traffic. And this timeline is the electronical generation of the word of mouth. This is extremely important because everyone is telling the friends, that the friends close to them in the offline, in fact, and saying, Oh, do you see? There's again a song of Ali posting here and someone commenting, "This is the greatest one," or whatever, and then the word of mouth is transmitting from computer one to people number one and to people number two to computer number two. And because of this timeline, this is probably the one of the facilitator of generating the word of mouth now, the word of mouth first online and then offline and back to online in the process that Facebook created with the timeline. The timeline is extremely important, and the way they have created the script to push the popular post on the top, even if it is an old post with the new comments, are very very important, and you must focus on such a thing and reposting as we experienced with it from last week. And you started with that, Ali, reposting old photos, recommencing to old photos, old videos, and some very old posts just to refresh and to report them on the top of the Facebook timeline. This is extremely important. And then that's the way to go through your search engine optimization and then through social media optimization and generated a brand new search engine optimization. Then you gain in visibility, and because you are visible, you are driving more and more traffic. Again, this is not so easy as we mentioned now, but that's a long-term work, and you need to work daily on this. If you don't, the process will stop. If you don't generate daily something, the process will be suddenly stopped because there's a lack of posting, and the lack of posting and the lack of brand new information, whatever on the website, whatever on social media, then we're cut off the driving of traffic to your website. And then if you start the process, you will need to start from the square one and start from the very beginning you started a few months ago. So that's a perpetual work to generate and to get a kind of perennity in what you have generating before in terms of driving traffic. This is extremely important to maintain your efforts and to daily paying concern of what you posting in your editorial line and how you are driving some traffic about focusing on the content and the quality of the content you're posting, whatever on your website, whatever on social media, that you know that the way is driving traffic from social media to your website and not on the other way. That it could be because you're posting a brand new article, a brand new page, a brand new video on your website and disseminating to YouTube, to Facebook. And on the example of a video, this is not stupid to embed your video on your website, to embed it on Facebook, and to embed it on your YouTube channel. This is a kind of trinity, and you're in the middle. You're just there to promote, and the free medium, the free media, sorry, are generating the traffic and driving the traffic to your website finally, because your website again is your own, the art of your strategy. That's extremely important to think in terms of strategy that way and not another. This is extremely important. Another way to drive traffic is I
Yeah,
know
well,
you do it
definitely. I'm
monthly
growing.
to
You know,
generate a newsletter,
as I get
and
leads that come in through
to send a newsletter, a monthly
my
newsletter as you
website,
do,
and as
Ali,
people email
with
me,
some
then I just basically add. If
information and
anybody
exactly
emails
the
me
way
about
her
anything, they just get
newspaper,
added into the database.
daily,
So if they buy
weekly, or
CDs
monthly
off me, or
newspaper is
they're
doing it.
booking me for a
What's your
gig, or
experience
the
about
whatever,
the newsletter?
I have a mixed base, which is basically a mixed um, media and fans and everybody. So everybody gets the newsletter, and then I periodically put out press releases, which I just whack out across the board to the whole database. I've got about 5,000 email addresses on there now, and so that, sending out a nice HTML mail that has everything in it, and then it's nice and social media compliant. I use iContact. Some people use MailChimp. And so that, you know, I send out there, and then that also posts onto social medias as well. And I just gather up the whatever the articles that I've got, but I tend to generate interest out of that every time. Um, you know, I have clickable items inside there that click and go through to videos. I'll promote whatever the latest video is, or whatever that, you know, magazine article, what gigs I have coming up. What I really saw in a gig that I played last weekend, I'm really starting to see it now. I saw it in Sydney, and I've seen it now in New Zealand, because I don't play gigs all the time. I only play a few profile gigs. As I'm starting to get people turn up who've met me on my Facebook page. I'm starting to have people come up to me and go, I'm such and such, I'm on your Facebook. And so they've come along because they've actually discovered me on Facebook. And so I got quite a shock, because I said this little show I did for the Nelson Arts Festival last weekend was a pre-runner for their ticketed show. So it's called Granary Sessions, and so it was just some musicians that are doing 2 hours before their ticketed show. And I imagined that I was going to turn up and there'd be a handful of people, and I walked in the door and there was like 200 people in there. And a lot of them left afterwards. They didn't stay for the ticketed show. And the guy on the sound desk said, you know, this is the busiest granary session, and a lot of these people are actually here to see you. They're not ticketed to go through. They're not going to go to the ticketed show. They're here actually watching you. And so I've actually had that experience now, where I've turned up to several gigs and had people come up and shake my hand at intermission and go, I'm on your Facebook page. And I go, okay, which one? Oh, you're on Ellie Cook too, you know. So like I sort of work out which profile they're on, or I've liked your fan page or whatever. And I've had quite a few people turn up to gigs now. So I'm finally, and that brings about that thought of next week's subject, which is return on investment. It's an extremely long return on investment building a big social media database. And I guess now, because I work as a social media marketer, I'm finally starting to get people come to me. And this week I actually picked up 3 social media clients that are just small businesses in town, and that was because I swapped my hairdos with my hairdresser for doing her Facebook page. I got free hair, and and then she said, how much work do you want? I went, well, it depends. And she said, well, I've got all these people going, oh, your Facebook page is growing so amazing. How you done that? She said, well, it's Ellie, it's not me. She tells me what to do, because what happens is I come in to get my hair done, she'll put the colour on or whatever, and she hands me her laptop, and I show her how to Facebook advertise while she's doing my hair, you know. So she's looking at me on the laptop and I'm giving her a lesson, and this is how I've been giving her lessons, and her page is going amazing now. She's pumping. She's doing giveaways, and she's doing one-off promoter posts, and she's giving away haircuts and free shampoo if you come in. And every time I go in there, she's got more staff members. The place is pumping. The phone's ringing off the hook, you know, and her Facebook page is growing. So all these other business ladies that she has are going, how have you done that with Facebook? You know, and they're asking her for help, and she goes, well, I haven't got the time. You know, I'm a hairdresser, but ask her. So I was in there getting the hair done. By that afternoon, I just got one client. The next day, someone else rang me up. And then yesterday, these pages started growing, and they've told somebody else, and I had somebody else ring me up. So it was like word of mouth. But the reason I'm getting that is my databases on social media are big. So but it's taken me a long time working for nothing to get to this point. And it's the same as it's taken me a long time to start to see people on my Facebook music page turning up to my gigs. It's not an overnight process. You know, not for everybody.
Exactly.
For some people it is. For her with a hairdressing salon, it actually is, because I just showed her how to get going, got her giving away things, got her doing what you call loss leaders, bottles of shampoo, whatever, come and get a free haircut, get a bottle of free shampoo if you get a haircut or whatever. And and it's worked for her on a local market, and she's learned to target her posts. Because I went in the other day, I said, "Oh, you know you can," and before I even spat it out, she went, "Target your posts," and I went, "Yeah." she'd already worked out that she could now target a post to just Nelson people, so she could actually go free haircut, boom, target post, and it's going to show to people in Nelson. And so, she was really excited about that. She didn't know not much at all when she started. So, it's an investment of time and energy, and it's really exciting with someone like that you've helped to actually see their excitement when it's paying off for them. That they've taken that on board, and and it's about giving. I said to her, don't be afraid to give a haircut away, or give her, because you'll find it'll come back, and it has come back. And she's quite astute. She's worked out her return on investment, and she said it's a better return on investment than any other advertising she's done with with her hairdressing salon. Social media is her highest returning for the time and money she's spent on it, for the amount of new customers. She was also using a grab one thing, like Woot, which cost her a lot of money. And she said she got customers, but then she decided actually that the kind of customers she was getting on that promotion weren't staying. They were actually customers that only went from one bargain to another on Grab One, which is where they put up promotion for 24 hours, but like 7:35 was, but another version of it. And so there was this Grab One thing, and it cost her a lot to be involved in it, and she didn't see her money for a couple of months afterwards. But she said that the people that came in got the haircut, and then they told her that, "Oh no, we won't come back. We just look for the next haircut deal on Grab One, and we're off to another hairdresser." But she said the social media ones, they come in and they get their haircut, and you give them a bottle of shampoo, and they're back every 6 weeks, and they're talking to you on Facebook. So she said they are clients that stay. Like, she's really noticed that they are the clients that stay, are the ones that have found her on Facebook, and then they can communicate with her and go, "Oh, my hair looked great. Here I am going out." And she's kept her page interesting and kept lots of fantastic hairdo pictures up there, and yeah, so it's the return on investment. That's our subject for next week, isn't it? So we won't too much about ROI, but driving traffic, and in her case, it's driving foot traffic to her door, and I think that's where I see the most instant success. And I guess that's probably right, because people that have more of a global business, like my music is more of a global business, the the social media marketing is more of a global business, whereas the hairdresser, she's a local business. So she only has 62,000 Facebook users that she wants to advertise to and tell about her hairdressing salon, which is the number of people in the city of Nelson that are on Facebook. It was actually 68,000 of them in total, but so there's only 68,000 Facebook users she's actually interested in. So for local business, I think it's the best. A small local business that's only looking to attract people in the town that it's in. That's where the return on investment is faster. It's and the driving traffic is driving foot traffic by saying, I'm going to give you this. If you come in the door, I'm going to give you this, which is the old, before we had the internet, was called a loss leader. You advertised a loss leader, something you gave away that got the customer in the door. And so this is a loss leader via social media.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, you're right, and we're going to talk deeply of the return on investment next week. Will be the main topic of the next week's seminar. But that's right. The more you local, the fastest you have your return on investment. That's absolutely right. And as you mentioned, music is a global business and a large worldwide business and really global. So that means that for sure you need to and every singer, musician, songwriter, whatever involved in the music industry has to maintain efforts for months before generating the ROI. That's absolutely important, and that's why maintaining the effort will generate the word of mouth, the bricks and mortar word of mouth, and then online, or online then bricks and mortars, and etc. And this is a virtuous spiral that everyone has to generate to drive traffic and then gain and obtain a return on investment. That it doesn't work on the other way. And as I used to say, marketing is a very precise science, and for a large part common sense. That this is not immediate, absolutely not. And keep in mind also that all social media and everything are absolutely not an Eldorado. This is not because you're on Facebook that everything and you will be a billionaire tomorrow morning. That doesn't work that way, unfortunately. That if you're maintaining your effort, you will get some return for sure, absolutely sure. Now that's right. This year, 2013, is an extremely hard year for the business because of the crisis, because of the worldwide crisis. But for sure, that's the time now to communicate, to use social media, because this is just your time and you have no cash except the adverts you're buying on Facebook. But as I mentioned, if you're a local business, even a local singer, why not? But you have to communicate now. That's time to communicate. This is not the crisis itself was dangerous. This is the end of the crisis was really dangerous. And if you're ready for the end of the crisis, you're ready to continue and to perform your business after the crisis. If you're not, you will experience a very big lag between the crisis, the end of the crisis, and the way that the economy is restarting normally. That's why maintaining all that, maintaining your efforts, driving traffic, generating word of mouth, refining your marketing strategy, your social media marketing, your social media optimization, and thinking daily about what you're posting and how you targeted it. It's extremely important. For sure, this is a full-time work, and everything could be hard because we have many things to do daily, but this is the sole way to go through, not
Yeah,
others.
basically just to keep the
Working,
work up,
working,
take some of the
refining,
points that I've given
refining,
you,
and
that we've
targeting.
talked about here, both of us
Target
in
your
the
leads,
in
go through
um,
that, generate the
use
word
some of
of
those little
mouth.
tricks to
You
bring those
will drive,
posts back
and
up
you
to the
will
top
have some
again,
new leads,
working together with
qualified leads,
other, the
potential and
cross marketing,
prospective
and
customers.
involve all of the
That's
things. And
the
remember
only way.
that any of these seminars and all of them that we've done on
Right.
cross marketing,
Any positive
on
good words in terms of conclusion,
customer
Ali?
relationship management, they're all available on the campus, and I think Philippe will put up the link there for you. And so for I think it's only like $10 or something, isn't it, Phil? You can get a day's look at these seminars, and we've given you lots and lots of points on there, on things to do on Facebook that actually increase your activity. So just remembering to do some of those things every day, getting in there and getting some comments going on old posts to bring them back to the top, old photographs to bring them back to the top, going in there every day and making sure that all of the people on your profile are invited to your page, looking for new people to add to your profile, growing your profiles bigger, until they get to like me, where you've got them at 5,000 and you need a new one, and then build that one bigger, and so on and so forth. So, it's a matter of gathering the audience. And when you're an artist, it's a global audience normally for us these days as an independent. So it's a bit longer and a bit harder to do. When it's a local business that you're working on, it's actually an easier road because you're just targeting those people that are in your area. So learn your market within Facebook, where you need to market to, and market to those people. That's you know, that is the thing. And word of mouth, it's just one big giant word of mouth. That's what Facebook actually is. And it's there to gather information on advertisers. So if you're going to spend any advertising money anywhere, it's the cheapest and most effective return on getting customers that you will ever get is spending money on Facebook, I reckon. Way better than putting an advert in a magazine or anything like that. Ah,
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And you have on the
bonjour!
bottom of the screen the link to go to
Bonjour!
directly to the campus and choose the
Oh,
social
fancy
media
that. Oh, hello,
masterclass
Joelle.
or any individual's webinar,
Hi.
previous webinar, and you can buy
Oh,
it and
that's very
attend the
interesting.
replay. I'm pleased
You'll
to
have to tell him
welcome, and Ali will
I
be glad to
enjoyed
see
my
you,
flight. Thank you
Joel,
very much. And I
from
guess he
and
knows
next
about
from
Sassenay
a
and
brand new
everything that happened
retire.
there.
Yeah. Hello.
Joel from Aerostrap. Yeah. Uh, yeah, this is Joel.
Yeah.
I was
Bonjour,
just
Joël.
today.
Comment allez-vous?
Yeah, and yeah, and yeah. I gave the
Yeah.
earphone, so I just unplug it for Joel to listen to what you say and to hear you. All right, so that was a she said.
Kiss.
All right, so don't forget to visit the campus on Futures Entertainment website with Futures brand new logo. Next week we will have, as I told you already, the a webinar about the return on investment. Same time, same day, same hour next week on Wednesday morning, Wednesday evening for
Thank you.
Australia,
And thank you for
Australia and
coming
New
along and
Zealand.
joining us, everyone.
On my
Thank you.
side,
And you have a great
we'll find you
day.
again, and hope you will come along to on Web 26 TV and here as well
Bye.
tonight 7 p.m. UTC with EDL